You guys had a tough loss in week one, and week two, you guys bounced back with the shutout win. What were some of the big changes that you made from week one to week two?
Yeah, I think we tackled a little bit better. We finished plays a little bit better defensively. Um, that was a big focus for us throughout the week, was just to make sure we're running our feet on contact. It seemed like we struggled a little bit with that against Park Hill South, and good backs will do that to you, where you think you've got them bottled up, and then they scored out or whatever. But thought we were better defensively and held them to 7 total yards, so that's exciting. And then offensively, we hit some bigger plays downfield, which was something that we wanted to make sure we were doing, is kind of opening things up. I felt like I didn't quite put the ball in Sam's hands enough against Park Hill South, and kind of beat the head against the wall in some run game. And so we went in with that as our mindset. And anyway, it was better, and hopefully we can build on it.
Speaking of Sam, you guys almost got to that 50-point mark last week. What kind of growth have you seen out of him, even since you picked things up earlier this year?
Yeah, he tremendous talent, obviously, and can make all the throws and that sort of thing. Leadership has been pretty good from him all this time as well, and so there's not a ton of growth in those ways, but just being, I think, consistent throughout the week. He's been, in June, in July, we saw some bad days from him, where reads weren't super clear or whatever. But then as we rolled into August, he's been very good, very efficient. Still got some things to clean up in that way, but just making some good progress. We had that interception the week before versus Park Hill South off of a tip ball that hit. We ran an RPO, and it hit a kid's helmet on our team and bounced up, and they were able to catch it and go score. We haven't seen Sam throw an interception since June 17th. And that's pretty impressive. He's been very on top of things and pretty confident where he needs to go with the ball.
We talked over the summer at practice about just like the culture growth that you've been trying to install since you got here. Have you seen, once you guys have started up games a little bit, that the team's kind of growing closer and buying into that culture?
Yeah, the Monday night win we had over Helias's JV, we had pretty much the whole varsity group of kids stayed and watched that game, and there was a lot of energy there. And I think when you see that kind of support for your teammates on a Monday night, you can tell that things are headed in the right direction. And one thing from this past Friday, we had a young man on the field by the name of Cooper Myers. I took him out to put in one of our seniors that hadn't scored on the night. Pretty much everybody had gotten in the end zone, and so we put in Jack, our H back, to go back in. And Cooper came off the field, and I was like, man, hey, I'm sorry, and he goes, Coach, no, it's good. He needs this one. I get it. I'm starting to see some really good leadership from, all sorts of kids. And definitely a highlight of Friday night for me was hearing that from Cooper.
Your defense had a big night Friday also, not allowing a single point on the board. What's it like to just have that? And I'm sure it helps the offense out a little bit too, that they're shutting people down.
Yeah, they were flying around pretty good and being pretty physical. Man, I've known Coach Smith, Ethan Smith, for a long time. Been a buddy of mine, and for him to come in, get his first shutout, that was a good feeling for me to be able to see that. He's got those guys playing really hard, and they're buying into everything that he's doing. So I think we're going to see more of that, from our defense down the road, and hopefully we can build off of Friday and just turn that into another one this week.
You have some younger players on your team that have stepped up a little bit. Anybody that particularly surprised you the last few weeks?
Well, I don't know about surprise. The Drevin Seaman receiver had a couple touchdowns, 130 yards receiving on Friday. He's always one play away from getting on top and able to hit a home run, and he's done a really good job for us. We're playing a lot of guys that are in their first year of playing on a Friday night, and so anytime we see success from those guys, even the juniors like Joey Scardina, that's playing his first defensive back on a Friday night. He's got an interception, got a few deflected balls. We've seen some good things from a lot of our younger players, and starting to see confidence, which is really exciting.
Obviously, Jefferson City is the opponent this Friday. They had a big game against Hannibal. They hung with them in the first half. What's some of the big challenges you think your team will face this weekend?
Yeah, first of all, both teams are 1-1, and it's kind of that pivotal moment in the year where you get a chance to, maybe get that winning record. Each team's going to be hungry for that. They're well coached. Damon Wells had success before he got to Jeff City, and I think they played really well down the stretch last year for him as well. And so he's got a really good system, does a lot of good things with his wing T offense. And I think they play really hard. Offensive line gets off the ball really well. And they're kind of that gritty, tough, hard nosed team that, I'm kind of used to seeing in the Ozark Conference from where I'm from. And not a team that you really, you love to go and play against because they're going to shorten the game and all that kind of stuff. But I think that, we're going to have to go out and play really sound football and try to be mistake free. And if we do those things, we'll have a chance to win.